Kia ora koutou e te whānau, talofa lava, ai fit like. I'm Chris Tafili Reid. I wanted to say that I'm very uncomfortable with drawing and I've never really done it, so this is time to step out of the comfort zone. So what I'm going to share with you is me being a bit vulnerable, but yeah, there's strength and vulnerability, right? That's where we grow. So I am, first and foremost, I identify I'm human and a world citizen, dual citizen of New Zealand and Samoa. My father is from Samoa and my mother, she's born here in New Zealand. So from that, this is a bit of my story and my journey. This is a symbol. I acknowledge a source, a beginning, te kore or the Big Bang or whatever you want to call it. That is my symbol that's representative of that. And from here, we have ripples through time and space from whatever those beginnings were. And I've used the double helix or deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA. And I noticed that extends from beyond a time that I can even know or fathom, but I acknowledge it anyway, and it's dispersed out, and it starts to tell the story of what I do know. So from my Samoan heritage and also my Scottish and Pākehā heritage. In this first large crossover of the double helix, I've got my Celtic side and the Samoan side, and it extends further down and they intertwine. And what I've purposely done is I put the thistle and I've planted its roots within the Samoan designs, and I've got the tiawila, the Samoan flower, and I've planted its roots in the Celtic designs. And then it overlaps and it branches out. And what these DNA, the double helix, actually is behind the va'atele or the wakahaurua. Is actually the wake. So each of these vessels, I've got one from Scotland, the large steamships of the 40s and 50s that brought over the Scottish ancestors. These DNA strands are actually the wakes of showing where my ancestors have come from, and it's leaving that in their path. And so I'm also a sailor and voyager too, so I'm comfortable with the wakahaurua, sailed around the North Island and Samoa. But they've essentially come out to where I am now. Now the wakatoa, that is a symbol here of Aotearoa, and these past ships, they've all landed us here in Aotearoa. This is symbolic of this nation, essentially. And they have formed a flotilla. So I know my past ships, I know the vessels that have carried my forefathers and stood on them. And now I know where I'm standing. And that is here on this wakatoa. And it's formed a wake of the silver fern. We're all in this boat together. He waka eke noa. So that's my bit of my story. And flipping over to I'm going to start from the bottom for what I would love to see here in Aotearoa, New Zealand for the future. So I've chosen the New Zealand coat of arms because I think this is actually very symbolic of our nation. I don't think there's much dispute over it really. People don't bring it up. I've looked at it and I thought that actually makes a lot of sense to me. So what I've done, I've put it here, yet what I can see for the future is no disrespect to the crown. The crown's usually placed up here. I've cut it and I've put it down to notice that whilst many of us originate from the UK, this nation was founded on the Treaty of Waitangi. It was not founded on the crown. It was an agreement between tangata whenua and the crown. The Crown resides within the UK. The treaty resides here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. So for us, looking in between tangata whenua and Pākehā, you have to know that what the treaty is, know it's there. We have to all look at it in order to know where we're standing. I often hear New Zealanders refer to go travelling in the islands. As a South Islander and a Samoan, I find it quite funny. So I've just written something symbolically just to put that in people's faces. We are all Pacific Islanders. If you live in Aotearoa, if you reside here, you call it home, you are a Pacific Islander, in my view. Above there is Te Wheke, or the Whee in Samoan, drop the K. And this is symbolic of all the tentacles, as you might have seen Jacko point out, that stretch out all over Te Moana Nui a Kiwa. We say Kiwa in Samoan, or Kiwa. And I like this because the Pacific Ocean is not, it was the thing to Europeans that divided the old world from the new, so the pilgrims to, South and North America. But for us as children of Maui, it's actually the one thing that unites us as an oceanic nation. And I like, for the future, if people are able to see themselves as Pacific Islanders, then would maybe feel more at home with forming stronger bonds with our neighbours, the Polynesians and Melanesians. We as a nation can inspire the world with unity. And from there, mana whenua, equitable, pono, unity, whanungatanga, kaitiakitanga, healing, reconciliation, and thankfully Jacinda's decided we're going to learn Aotearoa New Zealand history in our own country, so give us truth. And above that, I see us looking up towards the guiding stars of Matariki or Pleiades, the 9 stars, 7 sisters some call it, and Puanga, which is observed over in Taranaki, that's regal in the constellation of Orion. And I see that as our bright future. So thank you for listening.